In this video, we will be creating a sign-up form using HTML and CSS. And this is what our finished web page would look like. It has input fields for full name, email, username, password, confirm password, a register button to submit, and a sign in if you are already a member option. To get started, create an empty folder on your desktop. You can name this anything. I'll name it as class signup form. And then open VS Code and navigate to the folder you just created on the desktop. In this folder, we'll be creating two files for this web page. One would be index.html and the other file would be style.css. We'll also create a folder called images, and inside that folder we will be using a background image for this web page, and this is what this image would look like. The link to this image will be given in the video description. We can now start coding our HTML page. You can type HTML and click the HTML5 template, and you can change the title of this web page to class signup form. In the body section, create a div called container, and inside that div, create an h1 tag called signup form, and then create another form inside it with a get method. Inside this form, create another div called textbox, which will have an input field called text, and it will have an empty span. This will create a line, and then a label, which can be used here for full name. And then copy this entire text box a few times because we'll be using multiple inputs, and change this to username. Change this one to password. Make sure to change the type as password as well. This would be confirm password with a type of password. And this field will be email with a type of email. And make sure to take this email text box to the very top, right after the full name. And below the confirm password text box, create a button container and have an input field with the type of submit. This is the submit button for the form with a value of register. And create another div called login link, which shows the message of are you already a member, which will also have a hyperlink. We'll just leave it as hash for now. This will give the option of sign in. And that would be all for the front end HTML part of this web page. Now let's open live server and see how this web page looks like. And this is what the web page looks like at the moment. We still haven't added any styles yet. We'll go ahead and do it now. Make sure to link the style.css file to your index.html page. And there will be a special font used on this web page. You can find this on Google Fonts. Let me show you this. You can just type Rubik here. Click on get font and get the embed code. From here, just select import, and this would be the file that we would be using inside our style sheet. You can just copy and paste it here. We'll first create the CSS variables for this web page, and these would be the default values for this style sheet. We can now start styling the body of the web page. First, we'll set the background image. This would be a fallback image in case our gradient image does not work. So there will be two background images in this web page, and this would be the gradient followed by the same background image, and then the background size would be cover. The display would be grid, align item center, justify content center, and a height of 100 VH. Now we can style the container. We can also add an animation for this container called box in. And this animation will have the following keyframes. And this is what the form looks like right now. We can now style the h1 tag of this container. And this will be the container form. And now the form's text box view. The input field of the text box div. And this is what the form looks like right now. We will now continue styling the label part inside the text box. Also make sure to make this text primary, it's not btn primary. We can now style the span inside the text box. And these two styles are used to make sure the label goes up when it is on focus, and then the label will come down. Now we can directly style the input, where we set the default color for the input text. And now the btn container, which will be the container for the submit button. And this will be the styling given to the input of type submit, which is the submit button. And this would be the hover effect for the submit button. And this is how the web page looks at the moment. We can see all the input columns right now along with the register button. We can now style the remaining parts of this form. There will also be an active state for this button. Now we will style the login link div, which will provide us the login option if you are a member. And this would style the anchor tag, which is the hyperlink for the login link div. And that would be all for the styling part of this web page. We can now have a look at the finished web page of the sign up form. And this is what the finished sign up form looks like. We can fill in the name, followed by the email address, and then a username, followed by the password, and a confirm password. And if it's an existing user, we can use the sign in option. With that, we can click the register button to submit. I have already made a sign in page for this form. In case you haven't, you can check that out. The link will be in the description. And that would be all for this video. For more videos on this channel, be sure to subscribe to stay updated.